Okay, we are online now. We can start talking, and in this session we are going to talk about New World Order. Things have changed, and what are the things in New World going to happen? Let's start with politics. How do you think after everything has changed? How do you think politicians are going to behave? How is going to be affected, and how the new world design or in new world establishment? What are the things, predictable things we are going to talk about? What can we expect for the coming future to be? You know, at the moment, we can expand the politics like this. Let's give some examples. Before the coronavirus thing, people used to fight with each other with different issues, right? For a moment, for a moment, everyone stands still and concentrate on one issue, right? A virus became a matter of the world. So everyone stopped fighting, or they stopped being a part of a war, or killing each other, or fighting with each other on social media, or really effectively. They stopped, we stopped, and we start to take care of the health issue which surrounded the world. So do you think things will change from now on? Can we make is it a starting of new century? What I mean, is something going to change? Yes, Zainab.
I think, of course, I'm not sure about it, because
make predictions right now.
It's just a prediction, but I don't think that world is going to change a lot. I mean, yes, now everyone is caring about health problems, but after this finish, I think cold wars, wars are going to continue. I think because this is a thing which comes from history. Countries are fighting with each other, and some countries have enemies, and those enemies are not going to finish after this health problem. I think they're going to fight again. They're going to continue to fight again. But I think in this time, some countries are helping the other countries in a kind of strategic play. I mean, I think it's a kind of thing which is strategic, because I don't think that countries are thinking a lot about the other countries' seasons. I think this is, as I said, it's a kind of thing which is strategic. So I think those helps are going to be helpful in the future.
So you don't think there's going to be a unity?
I don't think that.
Okay. Yes, Shawan.
In the world, when something happens, considers all the humanity, like wars. After they happen, the world changes. I believe that, and the virus, when it has gone. When it has gone, also the world will change. Like countries' powers will change. I think China will get power in the politics more than US. I think US will lose the political power. Yes, that's it.
Do you think that after this bad virus thing, Japan is going to change and China is going to lead the world? New leader is going to change. It's not US anymore.
I think Asian countries get more powerful, be more powerful, I guess.
Okay. Yes, girls, what do you think? Yeah, Ismail.
Thank you. I think it depends on which country did what. Like, for example, United States of America had a hatred towards China before, like they were somehow enemy. So that enemy, that kind of hatred increased when this COVID-19 came out from the Wuhan city in China. That's why the American are calling the coronavirus as Chinese virus. And it depends. In another case, like what Turkey did, it gave medical equipments to countries like USA, Italy, Spain. So the relationship between Turkey and those countries might increase, might get stronger, the friendly. That's, I think.
Okay, you said that by the virus thing, people are helping each other, they are supporting each other, and it's going to affect our relationships in the future, and we will be maybe more friendly, and maybe we are going to have engaged economically in the future.
Exactly.
Okay. Yes, Zeynep.
I agree with Shevai, but not totally. I think Asia is not going to be the leader of the world, and America is not going to be in the down. But I think America is losing its power. But I think it's not just about this virus. Before the virus, America, I think, because of this government, start to lose their power when we're compared with the before times, and with this virus, it started to show itself a lot. I mean, with this virus, we could certainly see that America is really losing their power, and we could see China becomes more powerful when we're comparing with before China. I'm not comparing China and America. I think still America is stronger than them.
You
But
compare them to themselves before the
yes,
virus and after the virus thing. Okay.
yes, this is what I'm thinking.
Okay. How about, yeah, Sarah?
Um, I agree with Zainab and Ismail. There are so many bad points. The hospital were used badly. Economy went down. Education changed. Unemployment increased. All countries falling behind, and the world almost lost a half of a year. That's why nothing will be the same. And also there is, Ismail said, every country will be different. Not, I mean, there is a idiom in Turkey. Every single ship hangs on their legs. So I think the situation is like that because, I mean, every country did same, different things. That's why after the pandemic, I think there will be no comparing with countries, because it was a bad situation. Why the countries wants to be powerful? I think I'm done with my speech.
No, you don't feel like, all of you, you don't feel like things are going to change politically. Not much, actually. It's just like when you are watching a movie online and sometimes your internet goes off for a while, then comes back and everything goes on where it stopped. So you feel like that. So you mean that nothing has changed, but maybe a little bit nuance or something will change in our lives, but politically, I mean, everything is going to move on where they have already stopped. About the politics, I assume that you mean this. Let's move on to the topic of education then. We have stopped. We try to move on, keep on, hang on, but actually we have stopped. For a while, we have stopped learning. It's like probably all of you have already been to a car, right? When you are moving in the car and when you are speeding up, you feel like going, and when it is red lights, you have to stop when you are moving to the red light, and then when you come to the lights, the traffic lights, you stop, right? When you see the red. Then when you start again, your speed is going to be go up slowly because you are not at the same rate right now. You are going to start again. So education is just like that for me. We were having a speed. We were doing fine and we were almost having our exams for the second term, right? All of us in schools. And suddenly the schools are closed and we are at home. And you were told that you are going to move on to next grade and you're not going to have any exams. And what do you think about it? What the new world, let's say in September, we are going back to schools, everything goes normal if. What are you expecting for the coming semester? Zeynep?
I think it's again comes to self-control. When everything becomes normal, when we turn to schools, we will see the differences between the person who has the self-control and not. Because if in in when we were in school, I mean, even if you're not doing anything, you're going to school and your teacher is like, when you're sleeping at the lesson, your teacher comes and wakes you up and like gives homeworks, and if you don't do it, like she can say something in front of the class to you and it feels bad, so you have to do your works as well. But when it's like now we're in online, and I'm sometimes sleeping in the lessons and teacher cannot say anything to us. And if I have a self control, and then I can control myself and not sleep. But I can't do this all the time, so it's not that beneficial for me. But there's people, I know that they're 12th grader, and he was solving about 500 questions in a day. But I know the students there, they just stopped to studying. Even their 12th grader, they're saying like, I'm going to I will attend this exam next year. And I think it's totally about self control.
So it affected actually all of us. I mean, yeah, self-control is important, but right now we are affected by psychologically, mentally, physically. We are, I think we lost our concentration, right? To do something. So we are going to learn how to teach, or you are going to learn how to be a student overall again at the September semester. Hopefully, actually. Do you know what is our politic in education in Turkey for the coming year? Have you heard about it? What's going to happen? No. Actually, our ministry, education minister is planning to make 3 weeks of revision time before the school starts. Have you heard about it? Yes. So you are expected to be having 3 weeks of time for revision for the past year, and then we are going to start for your new year education for whatever class you are. You'll be like for the prep schools, prep students, they're going to be prep students again for 3 weeks. They will have revision classes, and then after the third week, in the fourth week, they are going to be 10th graders. There's a kind of planning right now. What else would you suggest for like education? What could be done for if everything goes right, and if, let's say, we start the education on September, everything is fine, maybe the medication is found and we are all ready to start. What would you suggest for us to gain the time that we are losing right now? Zeynep?
And I don't know. I don't think that we can do something to gain this time, but at least we can try to not lose it right now. But schools, I don't think that schools are caring a lot about our emotions. because I'm saying again, I talked about self-control because schools and principals or education ministers, they're not caring about our emotional. They're just caring about not stop the topics. I mean, teachers are going to continue to um, teach the topics, and students have to listen it. I mean, but we can't listen it. They can't understand it. So I think when school starts, they again, I don't think they're going to care about like the students that couldn't listen adopted the online schools, because when we're looking, there are students that can adapted to this online school as well. So they, I mean, if so, there is people that can study with those online schools. So they're saying like it's your problem if you couldn't. I think that's what I understand from the situation. So I don't think that there will be something more for our. Uh, I couldn't explain it well, but
Actually, I get you. What you mean is, we talked about it yesterday. It's not the matter of education is moving on. It's matter of actually we are going to have damages, all of us. Some of us are going to have economical damages personally. Some of us are going to have mental damages, and some of us are having damages for education right now. We are not having, or we are unable to get the perfect education we deserve, you deserve at the moment. But it's not the matter of education right now, it's the matter of health. So when you lose your control, when you lose your concentration on something, because you have something more important to worry about, it's nonsense to try to teach a student how can you solve a mathematic problem, right? I get you, totally get you. Peki, I'm sorry. What do you suggest instead of making 3 weeks of revision time? What would help a student, any student, more helpful suggestions than reviewing the topics that we haven't done for the second term? Because we can write to ministry, you know, that's why we are talking here. We are talking about your needs. What it matters is that right now. Yes, Shawar?
Maybe when we turn back to school, we can get courses to gain the lessons that we missed, like, or couldn't work well, couldn't understand.
What the ministry is planning is that. I mean, they are planning to make you study in 3 weeks of time. They are going to, actually, their plan is this, to recover the period of time that you haven't been to school. This is what their plan. But Zeynep says that actually right now, okay, maybe we are there and we have self-control and we are attending the online classes, but still it's not helpful because I'm listening to my teacher, yes, but as soon as I close the camera or the workshop at that moment, I still know that there's a virus out there and I have a question in mind. What am I doing right now? I mean, is it so important to learn a mathematic or physics at the moment? This is the question what a student thinks right now. And some of my students, believe me, they are saying that, okay, maybe I'm going to die tomorrow because of virus. And what's going on, teacher? Are you sure that we should talk about the rules of present continuous tense? You know? So what Zeynep says is, okay, I want to learn. I need offline actually, but I don't have the concentration at the moment. So how can I gain my concentration back? Do you have any suggestion to make students feel concentrated on the aim on their goals again? Yes, Zeynep.
Yesterday we talked about it. Maybe we can give some optional lessons to them, because I think it's kind of impossible to focus to normal lessons, because it's even hard to do it in normal schools. I mean, it's even hard to understand math or the other lessons and concentrate in the lesson. And now, while our brain is just full with the other stuff, it's so hard to attend the lessons and concentrate. But as I said, if as you said yesterday, and if the lessons were more like more attractive for students, it would be more effective.
How would you think of, like, until the September term, until the school starts, during the summer, if like your teachers had online conversation activities like this? Not official, of course, but like having chat online and talking about an issue, or maybe doing like, let's read a book together and then come together and discuss about the book issue, or let's read a poem and let's try to find out what did the poet try to tell us in this poem. Kind of activities. Would it be helpful for students to keep in touch with school and keep in touch with teachers, instead of making them study and solve problems, or try to teach them present perfect tense and how to use it and other kind of things? Yes, Zeynep.
In school, for me, actually, I don't like the religion lessons. I mean, it's not about religion, but I don't like those lessons. But in online, we have our religion I don't know the English name of it, so I'm saying religion lessons, but I don't know, did you got it? I mean, hadith, tafsir, those kind of things. So in online, with the same teachers, we are making online lessons, but we're making them in the nights, and it's like we're making conversation, we're talking about prophets, histories, we're making actually the same thing, but we're like making a conversation, and it's the same teacher. But in the morning, I'm not attending their normal school lessons, but in the night, I'm attending those kind of lessons just because I want, and because no one is not forcing me to attend this, so I want to attend it with I mean, just because I want to.
Will. You want to do it your free will. You don't want someone to push you or make you attend something.
Yes. So it's not because most of the students have the same thing. Maybe they can't concentrate, or maybe they don't want to make homework, but it's not about that. It's not because students don't want to learn. They want to learn, but they don't want to do it in that way. Maybe they want to learn, but they don't want to learn this one. There's a thing like you can force a fish to fly as a bird. I mean, it's the same thing, I think. So for me, I have it's maybe a suggestion for the others. The first times of the quarantine, I was like always sleeping, and I already stopped to attend normal lessons. And then I realized that it's not going on like that, because it becomes like I'm not doing anything in the whole day, but I don't want to attend the normal school lessons as well. So as I said, I started to attend those kind of conferences, because I can focus debate, I can focus this congress, but I can't focus math lesson. So maybe I can change my way to the things that I can focus. So maybe students can do this as well.
Make a suggestion right now, like it's a chance also, like let's say we have 5 maths teacher in school. Most of the time you are not able to have class with the teacher you like, maybe, right? Or let's not say like, the word like is a little bit annoying, but maybe the teacher that you could understand mostly is not available at the moment, because he is in his schedule, he is put up with some other classes, and because all the classes are like limited with 20 students, you are not one of them and you are unable to have classes with that teacher. But in this case here, online education, you can choose any teacher you like, right? So this might be used as, no, I know you are not right now, but it might be a suggestion for the educational ministry. We can tell them that, okay, some teachers are liked by some students and they can keep in touch or get in touch more and better than others. So it should be free for a student to choose his own maths teacher. You can't do it in school because each teacher has a limited hour of education time. So if he or she is teaching, let's say 30 hours a week, he's unable to teach 32 hours. So maybe that's because you can't have classes with her. But in this case, we can have as much students as we like at the moment because online education is not limited. I can teach to 20 students at the moment right now, but also I can teach 40 students. They can at the same time can listen to me and ask questions, right? So maybe during online education, students can be allowed to choose any teacher they want to be together. This may help them to concentrate on their education, maybe. It's just a suggestion, right? Or maybe sometimes it depends on the teaching material. I mean, maybe you would like to choose your own class. Maybe you would like to choose, like you don't want to have maths class at the moment, but you would like to have some biology class. You should have a chance of choosing your own education within some rules, I guess. So that, as you said, if you are not forced to do something, probably if you are allowed to make your own choices, you will be not feeling bad about sitting in front of a PC and listening to a teacher. Okay, thank you. Did we make the point? I didn't get it, but okay. Let's move on to, by the way, gentlemen, Abdurrahman and Joe, we are trying to talk about the new world's order or establishment. We have talked about politics, we have talked about education, now we are moving on to health. We are talking how after the virus and before the virus things going to happen. I mean, before the virus, we had a normal life and now we have a changed life, and probably somehow things are going to get in normal, but still there will be nothing at the same point with the virus before in our lives. So we are trying to assume, we are trying to predict what will be the new world's health system right now. Let's talk about it. Before the virus, we didn't know that something, such a small thing, will affect us like this and the life will stop in the world. This is how we can describe it right now, that life has stopped for a moment. So we didn't know such a thing could happen. Right now, we know that. So how the things will change in our life as a health system in the future? What do you think? Would you be more careful than before? Would you hesitate going to doctor? Or, I don't know, maybe before the virus, you were planning to be a doctor. Did you change your mind? Yes? You have no idea? Yes, Abdurrahman.
Do you mean after the pandemic disappear, after getting the vaccine, what will be our health issues? Are you asking about this?
Actually, I'm asking how did coronavirus has changed your point of view?
Okay. According to me, like, after this is over, if the lockdown is over, we'll be aware the physical contact, then we'll use sanitizer more, we'll keep our places clean, then like, we'll be more careful not to we will wear the if we touch anything, we will wash our hands again and again. Like, we should be more careful after the virus is over. Like, we'll be more like careful. I mean to say like that.
Okay, what I'm trying to say is, before the virus, were you trusting in the health system of the world, not your country, in general? Think about it. I mean, like we heard about the news, like scientists are finding new medications and they are curing the cancer. They're doing things, and I don't know, people can make new organs by what was it again? I mean, many things have been done. I mean, if you lose your arm, they can make an arm for you and you continue using it. I mean, before the virus thing, I was in my opinion, I was thinking that, my goodness, these health people are good. They are super. I mean, they can do anything. But after the virus, I have some big question marks in my mind, because the virus is unable to be seen with naked eye. It's so small and it is so easy to kill it by using your soap and washing your hands. Still, they are unable to find the medication to kill the virus. Isn't that interesting? Am I the only one who gets surprised with the issue? I mean, don't you think that you can, if you have the virus on your hand, it's so easy to vanish it from your hands just using water and soap, but it is unable to remove it from your blood if you are affected. Isn't that interesting? Yes, Shawar.
I think it's not so interesting because now the scientists started to find a cure, find a vaccine. So the reason of why this is keeping so long, because they have to test them on people or on animals if there's a side effect. Because at the end they will send them to the whole world, and if one person is gonna die, then that will be their fault. So they have to test all the side effects, and we have to unfortunately wait for them to finish the finding.
I totally agree with you, but for me, as a person, an adult, I a little bit lost my faith in science, actually. That's all. That's what I am wondering about you. I mean, if when I was at your age, I wasn't, my planning wasn't being a teacher, I was planning to be a doctor. I wanted to be a surgeon, but I couldn't get enough educational practice, so I became a teacher. I would like to be a doctor. So many of the students, when I ask them, what would you like to be in the future? My students are or were planning to be doctors. So does it changed your opinions to have such a virus thing in your life? Are you planning to be a doctor before? Maybe you were not thinking of it, or you have changed your plans. You don't want to be a doctor anymore, but before the virus, you were planning to be a doctor. That's what I wonder.
I don't want to be a doctor. I actually want to be a pharmacist since I am 6 years old, and I still want to be a pharmacist because. And I also thought at the beginning of these virus things, like thinking by myself, if I'm gonna be a pharmacist and I will, and then there will be another virus when I be a pharmacist, then I have to deal with this problem. That will be my job and for the world. So I think I ask myself if I was gonna work for if I gonna work if am I gonna work for it when I was a pharmacist, and it doesn't change my mind. I still want to be a pharmacist. I want to find like find things, find cures, help people, and also I was thinking that the world have more like develop in the treatments, but it shows us that we are actually not that big, like in developments of the medicines or medical treatments. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, actually, we are talking about the same thing. We are a little bit disappointed about the going on issues. I mean, maybe we were expecting to be, things to be solved earlier than the deadline they are giving us. Because right now we don't have any deadlines in our lives when we don't know when these things are going to end. And this made us a little bit disappointed. We are feeling like that. Okay. Okay. And I'm going to move on. We haven't talked about one thing. Yes, Ismail.
I think after the virus, people will consider protecting and preserving the source of human health. That is safeguarding nature. And water, sanitation, food, and air quality are important elements. So people will be safeguarding this, ensure access to clean water and food, so that next time the virus doesn't a new virus doesn't come out. Like China should consider should take care and be careful in eating in their food. So they should stop eating things that are not edible. So another thing is the promoting healthy and sustainable food system. People will be consuming foods and ensuring that they build their immune system. You see, people who are suffering from the disease right now, people who are who went through this epidemic, people who recovered from the virus are the people who had a strong immune. Their immune system was strong, so that it fought with the virus. I think they will take care to these things. I think.
So you believe in that people are going to have before virus and after virus mind. They're going to change the way they're thinking and they're behaving to each other and to themselves too also. Okay. Joe?
So I think that we need to understand why Chinese eat that thing in the first place. It's not only culture, but it is also the situation that they have, economic, not yes, economic, because it could be a really powerful country, but they have certain like the richers are rich and the poor are really poor, like really poor. So even if they wanted to do that, the people will continue to eat because they need to survive. And it is the only way they have to survive, because the things that they eat is like abundant in that place, so it is easy to get that food. It's not the best quality food, but it is the food they can afford. And even I could go to extreme. No, I just keep with China.
It's not what I understand. What you're saying is it's not their choice. Maybe they had to do to fill their stomach. They didn't want to eat it, maybe, but they had to because they didn't have another choice, as they weren't able to afford to buy something more qualified than a bat. What Joe is trying to say. Okay. We never talked about environment. What do you think? Before the virus and after the virus, are you observing different things right now? Did you have chance to look outside, and did you have chance to
You're saying climate?
climate change, environment? Yes, the pollution thing. We never
Like in Veneza?
Yeah, did you heard about the news that saying our climate, actually our air is cleaner than itself before, after the virus, just 2 or 3 weeks of, 2 or 3 months of time, people are locked down in their houses. But it's already like 10 or 15 years before we had the clean air. They have measurements. They have said that the measurements are showing that the air is as clean as it was in 2006. This is like 14 years or 15 years earlier, and now we have more clean air outside. So yes, we are affected psychologically and physically with the virus, but also it helped world to clean itself during we were at home and lockdown. What do you think about it? Yes, Ismail. Ismail, I thought you were saying something. Or?
Yeah. And I think people are gonna build healthy cities. Like, and over half of the world's population now lives in cities, and they are responsible for both economic activities and greenhouse gas emissions. As cities, yeah, as cities relatively high population densities and traffic lights and traffic jams, many trips can be taken more efficiently and by public transport, walking and cycling than private cars. This also brings major health benefits through reducing traffic accidents, and that's it.
Thank you. So maybe this is kind of cleaning itself. The world is cleaning itself, and it might be a new start for us because we can think on it and we can behave as respectful as we can to the nature, right? They have said that there are some kind of birds haven't been seen for years. The bird observers find out that they are becoming popular and they're flying freely right now. So maybe some animals, those were about to extinct, Now they're going to get a population again. So the coronavirus thing, yes, locked down the human, but helped nature to grow up, helped animals to have a space in the world for themselves. Right? Okay. Thank you for this session again. And we are going to have 10 minutes of break time. And then when we come back, we are going to close up and we are going to write down our resolutions. Okay? See you in 10 minutes.